Hello everyone, Loki, my goat. Today I'll be reading One Piece chapter 1168. So, in the last chapter, we had a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of wild stuff. Just it was one of those very dense One Piece chapters filled with so much additional information, things we can add to stuff we've already known, but also a lot of new interesting tidbits as well thrown in there. And overall, just it felt long to read, just because all that information and stuff, and then topping it off with an emotional ending at the end with Loki. God, Oda cooked last chapter. It was really good. Um, in terms of specifics, we had that Florian Triangle mention at the beginning of the chapter, right? I know Oda knows what he's doing, dude. He obviously he had the sailor say, we were nowhere near the Florian Triangle, but Oda Oda knows he was talking about, or he had the journalist refer to the actual, the creatures in the mist, but then Oda kind of he brought it up, but then he kind of pushed it back because it was Harald all along. But Oda knows what he's doing. He remembers those things from Thriller Bark, and hopefully we can figure out what those are in the future. So yeah, we had that. We had obviously the stuff with Harald and the contracts and covenants explanation, which was really cool to see. I really I like how that system works. I was very interested in it before, but now we know a little bit more about it. We also had the Fisher Tiger incident as well, kind of re-explained, although there's an inconsistency, I think, because I noticed it last week. I don't know if you all saw my reaction to it, but I was a little confused because I saw Fisher Tiger in chains. Did he get captured again, purposefully captured? Because he definitely went to the Marijois twice. He went to Marijois twice, definitely. But I'm wondering. I want to see if Oda, did he forget that he went there twice, or is there going to be some explanation in SBS or something? But so there's that, and what else? Oh, Shirahoshi, Mosa. So, yeah, that was crazy. I'm obviously in the reaction. I was pretty much convinced that it was Shirahoshi, but now I'm not 100% convinced. It definitely adds more credence to the theory, right? But there's still the issue that I kind of forgot about this in the reaction, but Shirahoshi said that literally she only talked to Megalo in those 10 years, basically, that she was locked in her room, right? Like that Megalo was her only friend. She didn't really talk to anyone else, so that kind of goes against that idea, because Loki said he's known Mosa for a long time, right, or a while, right? And if we assume that was at the beginning of his imprisonment, which was 6 years ago, that was still when Shirahoshi was, in prison in her room. She still said that she hasn't talked to anyone except Megalo. She's talked to barely anyone except Megalo. So interesting. We'll see how that unfolds. I'm still not 100% sure. It could be Neptune as well, but I feel like that has its own issues as well. The guy, Mosa doesn't say Jamon or Shaggy, whatever you want to refer to them as. But yeah, so I'm still on the fence. We will learn in the next couple chapters. We might even get even more hints, even in this chapter, right? So we'll see. And then obviously Loki stuff at the end was great. We'll see what comes out of that. And yeah, so in terms of predictions for this chapter, let's see. By the way, no spoilers. I literally know nothing. Last week was kind of crazy in terms of if you know, you know. But yeah, I know nothing. Literally nothing. I don't even know if this chapter is good. I don't even I know nothing. It's one of those rare times where I absolutely know nothing. Right? Sometimes I might this chapter is pretty hype or what. No, absolutely nothing. I don't think I've even seen the letters 1168. Except checking if the chapter's out, right? But yeah, so I don't know anything in terms of predictions. I'm pretty confident that we will get to the incident 14 years ago, not this chapter, but the chapter afterwards. I think this chapter is going to be the final build-up toward that incident. So therefore, I think we will see Harald's blunder, or at least the setup to that blunder. Whether that is, actually, I don't even know. I haven't really been thinking about specifically what the blunder is. I've just been thinking about when it's going to happen, but I don't know. It could be just him Maybe the God's Knights tell him to do something that he doesn't want to do, and yeah, maybe it could be just that, like, Harald, do this, and Harald, he's been listening to them every single time they tell him to do something, but this time Harald's like, I can't do it, I can't, I'm gonna leave the world government, and they're like, what? No, like, we were so close to getting Elbaph, but you screwed it all up. So maybe something like that, I don't know, but I think we'll see the setup for that. And also, we could see the Shanks and Harald conversation. I know they kind of talked last chapter, but if you go to the chapter where Shanks is talking to Gabon, and Gabon's like, do you know Harald? And then Shanks is like, yeah, we got along all right. There's something I wanted to talk to him about, but we couldn't really speak freely in the Holy Land. But Shanks says we got along all right. The last chapter, that doesn't look like they got along all right. Obviously Shanks was playing up, his act as double agent or whatever, but like, that wasn't all right. So I'm assuming maybe they try to have a private conversation and it's interrupted, and then that's what it means by all right. So yeah, I'm assuming maybe we'll get that, or maybe the last chapter was the conversation, and I don't know, but yeah, I think we'll get that. I think maybe, what else? Maybe Hyrule and Loki stuff, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's, and maybe some Mosa Shaggy more confirmation, right? If it really is Shirahoshi, maybe we might see Harald plant the Denden Mushi in her room or something. I don't know. She's not even born yet, technically, in the flashback, but I don't know. But yeah, so, and more Shank stuff. I mean, I kind of already mentioned that, but hopefully we get that. And as always, an L in a rouge, please, Oda. Okay, let's read this chapter. Oh, who's gonna be the reader request? Let me guess. It could be any One Piece character, really. So let me think. Let's choose someone from post time skip. Let's just go with Rebecca. I don't know. I don't know. It could be anyone. Let's go with Rebecca. Let's see. Is the chapter out? Okay, the chapter's out. I've not read the title. I'll read the title right now before I see the cover request. One Piece chapter 1168. Elbaph Snow. Okay, interesting. Elbaph Snow. Okay, interesting. So I'm guessing we're going to be focusing on, obviously we're slowing down in the timeline, right? We're, gearing up for 14 years ago, so maybe we're just focusing on the winter time, Elbaph Snow. The underworld has snow, so maybe we might get some underworld stuff. I don't think Loki's obviously not going to be captured yet, but yeah, so I think this chapter title indicates Loki stuff, underworld stuff, and okay, so yeah, interesting. There could be some alternate meanings to that we'll learn in this chapter, but yeah, that's what I think about the title so far. So reader request. Oh, okay, it's Hachi. Okay, cover request by Mrs. Fuji. A family of sheep knit 6 gloves for Hachan. Okay, so we got bunch of sheep, and they're in very fitting for the title, right? Elbaph Snow. We got a very snowy place in this reader request. Hachan, Hachi right here, and wearing a sweater, and they're knitting. They knitted 6 gloves for him because he has six arms. So nice. And we got a little lodge in the background, a lot of little sheep. I don't think has Oda drawn sheep that often. I don't think he has that often. I can think of that one sheep mink from Zoe, but that's pretty much it. Okay, so nice. Okay, let's move on to the Oda note this week. He says, I can't stop eating these canned cookies. I realize that the macaron boro are my weakness. So Oda taking cookies from the cookie jar. There's lots of food related Oda chapter notes for the week in these like Pascal, or in general. Oda loves food. He loves food, so that's great. So let's move on to the chapter. Okay, starting off a normal panel right here. Harald's efforts are paying off, but, says the Shonen Jump text, 15 years ago, that same year, all over the world. Okay, so we're still 15 years ago, basically where we left off last chapter, right? Again, makes sense. We're going to be slowing down because leading up to 14 years ago, which is only 1 year after this year, right? So 15 years ago, that same year, all over the world. Those giant marines are really doing a good job. Okay, so these are referring to the giant marines that we saw recruited last chapter. Eventually we see them fight in Marineford. So, okay, so we got some citizens reacting here. Next panel, they're so reliable. I always thought they looked scary, but now I wouldn't mind meeting one. Okay, so people's minds are being changed about giants, right? Because they're in the Marines, they have this sort of image that they're now, this sort of change of perspective, right? They're on the good guy side, so now people are looking at them at a little bit of a positive light. That's, good for Harald, right? Bad because, these are giant soldiers that are basically slaves. Obviously Harald's more of a slave, right? Because he literally told him who he wanted to become him. But if you're in the Marines, you're in a system that is not exactly working for the best causes. So, yeah. So we got some people. So interesting. I like, Harald's doing a good job, kind of, but still there's some downsides. Next panel. Can't you get us stocked up again? Says a random chef on an island. Elbaph seafood is super popular now, I bet it is. Okay, so people are asking for food from Elbaph. Okay, so common opinion on Elbaph and the Giants is kind of, public opinion is kind of going up, so, okay. Next panel, we got a random pirate saying, this here is a top quality Elbaph cedar. It's a rare and tricky item to import. I'll take it already. That's probably Adam Wood, as we see on this ship right here, so... Now, is that Umit Shipping, right? Isn't that the shipping company in One Piece? I see it says on the ship in the background, so... Okay, is that Umit himself? I don't remember what he looks like. I won't search it up just in case, a spoiler pops up, but... Okay. Nice. Next panel. Elbaph New World. Okay, we're in Elbaph. Let's go. By the way, when are we going to see the Heaven Realm, dude? I don't know. I'm starting to think it's going to be a post-arc sort of thing and not something that's going to be relevant in the actual, main plot of the arc, which is kind of unfortunate, right? I mean, we don't even know what it looks like, so I can't even be that disappointed, right? We haven't even seen it. So, yeah. So, moving on, whatever, those little thing I wanted to mention. Elbaph New World. Harald. I should have read this first. When we finally become a member nation, and everyone's screaming for Harald, I guess Harald's returned, and he's, explaining he's elaborating on the fruits of his labor as being an ally of the world government. Harald says, when we finally become a member nation, I think we should build sightseeing ships so our people can freely visit all of our allies. Okay, so he's sort of talking about this. Okay. Next panel. We are actually a rare minority from the perspective of the outside world. But there are many nations out there with a wide variety of races coexisting. This is thanks to a culture of mutual respect. Let's join the larger world, make new friends, and grow in knowledge together. That sounds great, and everyone's cheering for him. I think this is very much almost the same shot from way earlier in the flashback when he's talking to everyone. When he's way younger. I think he's in the same spot, except he was sitting down and stuff. But yeah, so everyone's cheering and. Harald's we got to get everyone out there, visiting all the different, nations. There's a bunch of nations with, coexisting races. So we should, go to those nations. So, okay. Everyone seems on board with that idea. Next panel. We're one step away. Our future has never been brighter, says Harald. And we got one of the giants saying, yeah, let's ditch this warrior crap. Okay. Yeah. Let's ditch this warrior crap. It's interesting. I don't know if that's sarcastic, but so giants thinking about ditching the warrior crap. So, okay. Harald, next panel, says, I'll make it happen, Ida. Okay. So he's very, he has Ida in his mind and in his heart when he's talking about all these different things, right? Because Ida started this, right? If it wasn't for Ida, Harald would not be on the path that he is on right now, right? Ida is the one who told him about different, the world's so big and humans, different races have their own value, and giants are not they're not the big and mighty, dominant race that Harald thinks they are, right? Everyone brings their own value. So I like that. I like that Harald mentions that. So, nice. Next panel, we got the Walrus School, switching perspectives. Oh, Walrus School's already built, as we know. It was built 20 years ago. It's been 5 years since the Walrus School has been built, I'm pretty sure. So, okay. Next panel, we got some giant kids playing around with a ball. Okay. So, next panel, we got Harald saying, this is all thanks to you, Saul. Better sharp kids than sharp blades, huh? She. Okay, so just kind of chilling in the away from the school right now, looking at it. Okay. Next panel. Ooh, double page spread. Oh, is this what the fuck is this? This is What a weird double page. What? Okay. Oh, it's so wide, but it's like it looks like it's very single page styled. Okay, whatever. We'll read it and then I'll kind of look at the whole thing. Saul continues by saying, "But ain't you afraid you lost something here, Harald?" And then Harald's like, dot dot dot. I don't believe that military power is what makes a country strong anymore, says Harald. It's because of Ida. She taught. Oh, fuck. She's dead. It's because of Ida. She taught me everything. Meeting her was the greatest blessing of my life, and we have a gravestone. No, dude, that's such a crazy way to, dude. Oh, this is I love what Oda's doing here, but that's a crazy way to like reveal her death. What the hell? So yeah, Saul's saying you afraid you lost something here, Harald, because Elbaph's changing, right? It's not the same culture, and then he's like, military power, don't care about it that much. Ida changed my life, and oh my god, this is great. Oh, what the okay, wait, this might be this actually might be a single page, but for some reason it is like really wide because it's continue. Okay, whatever, right? We'll continue. Great, I love this. Great panels and stuff. We got a little flashback. Oh shit, this is like before she died, maybe. Hey Harald, I'm guessing that's Ida. Elbaph really has changed a lot. When I first came here, there was tons of internal conflict. It was scary. But you've changed everything. She's on her bed, and I think maybe Hyrudin and some of the giants are outside, and it's just Harald and her alone in the room. We got Harald right there at her bedside. Okay. Next panel. Now children can laugh and study instead. It's like a totally different country. And then Harald says, the old customs, our backwards traditions, all of those bad practices from the warrior era will be thrown away. Next panel. And then Ida says, oh, but I kind of like the whole warrior's pride part. It's really cool. You should cherish your culture. Don't you get it, Ida? It's that very culture that kept us from marrying. I can't accept it. Hee 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 hee, says Ida. You always did say you wanted to make me your legal wife. Cough, cough. That's really the sweetest thing. You're so cute. What about Loki? And then Harald says he'll always be Hyrudin's kid brother, won't he? In my heart, I've always thought of him like that. Ha ha ha. So, is she gonna die right here, dude? This is gonna be sad. Ida continues. Feelings like that keep my heart full. It's what kept me going all this time. But don't worry, it's okay. You're everybody's king, Harald. You're everybody's King Harald. Okay. And next panel, we got Ida continuing. And you're almost there, right? Harald says, that's right, Ida. It won't be long. Soon we'll be connected with the whole world. Our world will be tens of thousands of times bigger. Then we can go traveling together. And he's like kind of getting up and trying to, talking about all these things. And just like the old, oh, that's so good, yeah. Just like the old days, we got a little panel of them when they're younger. Because remember, they were traveling the world. Meeting all these other races when they were younger, earlier in the flashback. So, yeah. Next panel. That sounds amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Me too. And they hold, she holds his hand, and then, no, it, like, flops down. Oh, my God. This is sad. Oda definitely, yeah. Good scene right here. Like, very sad, but, very heartwarming. Interesting stuff she says about, you should cherish your culture, right? Ida told him about, your culture, well, not your culture, but your pride, right? Your racial superiority, that's bad. But she didn't say your culture, she wasn't necessarily criticizing his culture. Maybe Ida changed as well. Honestly, it could be that sort of thing. Maybe Ida also changed her perspective as well. But nonetheless, right here, she's saying you should cherish your culture. And then Harald, is very much going against it. So he's like, what? So obviously that's a really important idea right there. That'll probably come back up later. Next panel. Okay, this again, I guess TCB is showing these pages very wide. It looks like a double page spread, but I think these are just normal singles. But yeah, we got dialogueless panel right here. He leaves, he's holding his face. Everyone comes in. This is a good panel, dude. We got Hyrudin, Goldberg, Rode, Gerd, Ripley, Colin right here, like a little baby Colin. Someone right here, I don't know what this is. Oh, it's Mato probably. And that one giant doctor. Okay, just And then everyone's reacting to her death right here. They're at her bedside. Harald's just kind of grieving. Loki's in prison. Loki's in prison. Okay, did he let himself get captured? Obviously, it's probably because of the town he burned down, but maybe Loki let himself get captured, man. Maybe he just wanted to grieve. He wanted to be alone. So right now he's in prison. I'm assuming in the underworld, the same prison, the giant prison that the Straw Hats were in, like, at the beginning of the arc. In Rhodes' little, Legoland and all that. So, I love these panels. Just no dialogue, just raw emotions and stuff. Okay. Next panel. I think this is the town that Loki burned down, but has a bunch of snow over it, I think. And Loki's just silently, because I think he knows he is dead, I think. I don't think anyone, yeah, he's just kind of accepting it and tipping down his hat. Man, tough. Next panel. Oh, we're just moving on to the Holy Land. Okay, that was a lot. That was great panels here, though. Very, very, Oda did, especially showing Ida's death as well, like at the beginning. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, here we go. 14 years ago. 14 year, we are already moving on. 14 years ago. Okay, this is the same year that Shanks was with Gabon. So, oh, by the way, I want to know, because we know Shanks left the Holy Land, right? We know Shamrock said, my brother seems to prefer the filth of the lower world. I want to know how that happened, right? If it did happen 14 years ago, and by the time we see him talking with Gabon, he had already left the God's Knights, right? Obviously, the mark was still on his left arm, but he left the God's Knights, right? He told them, I'm out of here. It was nice meeting y'all. I'm out. I'm wondering if we're going to see that. And if so, how? How did that happen? Did he just say one day, I'm gone? Did he betray them, like outwardly betray them? And obviously he had to leave after that, but I'm wondering if we're going to see that. Next panel. 14 years ago, the Holy Land of Marie-Joie. Shanks is missing? Oh, maybe he just left. Maybe he just fucking left. Maybe he just, one day he's like, okay, I've collected my intel. I know what's happening. I'm just going to leave. Maybe that's what happened. Probably, right? And then eventually the world government's going to see that he's with his pirate crew out in the ocean, and then that would obviously prompt them to think, then he must have just preferred the filth of the lower world, right? All along, right? We thought he was trying to become a God's Knight, but nope, right? So maybe Shanks didn't say shit. He just fucking left. Shanks is missing? Indeed. Had he completed his last mission, he would have been formally knighted. Okay, so he was so close to being formally knighted. But he just left, right? Yeah, okay, so I guess this is how Oda's doing it, right? Next panel. As you were our next choice, that opportunity now falls to you. What will you do? Okay, so Shanks was sort of kind of the person that they were looking to promote to God's Knight, but now he obviously left, so now they're looking to Harald possibly becoming one. I guess we'll see that. Okay, so I'll just reread this again. As you were our next choice, that opportunity now falls to you. What will you do? I'll naturally accept the honor of being one of the God's Knights. Doing that will secure Elbaph's membership status. Harald, Harald. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what do they say to this? Okay, what is happening? Oh, it's just Harald. I thought it was Loki or something, but it's not. It's Harald. They're both very big. How big is this place, dude? Jeez. Okay, so obviously Harald wants to become a God's Knight, so in the next panel, we got the Gorosei. They're all walking, and what are we gonna see? Are we gonna see how they put the tattoo, or at least the second level of the tattoo? Is he gonna meet Emu? Oh shit! Wait, let's see this. So one of the Gorosei, I think Nazuro maybe says, "Congratulations, then. The Great One has agreed to trust in you. It's been a long process. Yeah, it's been years. He's been working with the world government since 33 years. No, 38 after Rox died. Damn. Okay." Yeah, it's been a long process. You'll be remembered as a king who brought Elbaph, who brought great change to Elbaph. Okay. Yeah. I like this interesting panel. We got them all, walking down this hallway and just giant, Harald's just leg and foot, just right there, walking behind them. Next panel, we got Harald saying, well, to be honest, okay, when Elbaph finally joins the world government, I plan to relinquish the throne. Okay. A younger, more virtuous ruler than I should take over. Okay. I think that makes sense, right, with Harald, because he has, I think he views, very much his blood of the ancient giants still inside of him. He knew he did a lot of bad things in the past. So I guess he wants to he brings about this change in Elbaph, he wants a ruler who is more clean, right? A little bit more clean in their history and a little bit more virtuous, right? As he says. I'm guessing he thinks Hyrule, because Loki's done some crazy stuff, although Harald's not really around, so he doesn't really see that crazy stuff. So, and we had him say in the last chapter, or like 2 chapters ago, that, you know, Loki, Hyrule, so maybe he's thinking like a dual king system. I don't know what he's thinking of, but makes sense that he wants to like relinquish the throne. So they're in the throne room of authority. Not room of authority, the empty throne, right? Empty throne room. Emu, okay. Yeah, so he plans to relinquish the throne. Jupiter, ellipses, okay. Next panel. Oh, Emu, that is a matter for Mu to decide. So Emu's listening into this, or Harald's like he's just talking to the Gorosei, and Emu's overhearing this. He's like, I don't know about that. That is a matter for Mu to decide. So the little conflict of interest here, is this why he eventually leaves? Is Harald gonna see the light? Maybe. Okay, I like this build-up. There's already a conflict of interest going on. You know, Harald's been so cooperative and very much a slave to them, but now he's like, I'm gonna put someone else in charge. And he was like, I don't know about that. Yeah, that is a matter for Mu to decide. Dudum. Sits on the empty throne. Next panel. Why? Why is there someone on the empty throne? Okay, so Harald knows about the empty throne, and he knows everything about it, so makes sense why he's shocked. Very much reminiscent of Cobra. So yeah, I mean, Harald, they were taking him to meet the true god. Like, come on, Harald, this is kind of expected, right? Next panel. Come, says Emu. Mu has been watching thee, Harald. Okay. We're gonna see like the God's Night initiation process thing. Okay, maybe. Next panel. Ooh, we get a freaking establishing shot. Freaking the Castle Pangea freaking like just stretches, and I guess Harald screams. They're gonna off-screen this? What do they do? They fucking this is crazy. What the hell? I'm guessing Oda's just off-screening whatever this initiation is or something. Or is he getting Domi reversed? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Next panel. Oh, okay, so we're just skipping. He gets the new mark. Oh, this power, we see his original tattoo, which is kind of like a cross with a circle in around it as well. And then now we have the same thing, but it has horns. This is the exact same logo that Killingham has on his suit, right? He has an armband of that symbol. We haven't seen his tattoo yet, but he has a symbol on his armband, so that makes sense. That is the sign that you've been promoted to a Knight of God. But also, Summers has that big-ass tattoo on him as well, which I don't know what that means, right? I don't know if at that point you could customize your tattoos or whatever, and he's just a God's Knight too, so I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure Summers also has the same armband. He has the same armband with this like new symbol with the horns, but then his tattoos is like, and we see that you can have a tattoo of the horns. So what is Summers' tattoo? I don't know. But yeah, Harald says this power, it gets like what the fuck did they do? What? Oh no, Oda didn't finish the chapter. Oh, we got the Gorosei sketches in the bottom. Okay. I just noticed that. Okay, so what did they do? They fucking like just like Fisher Tiger fucking just like burned it onto him? Like, what is happening? I'm guessing they just did some fucking devil shit, dude. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm guessing they just did that. This power, swoosh, appears. Huff, it's surging within me. It's chilling. Okay, so this is very maybe different from, you know, maybe when he got the initial, what is it, the blade, the God's Blade mark. Maybe it didn't hurt or anything. Or not hurt. He's not hurting right now, but like, yeah, maybe it was enough. Maybe it just was a normal tattoo. I don't know. But this clearly is something special. Yep, we got Oda. Did Oda finish? Oh, yep, Oda didn't finish the chapter. Okay. Next panel, we got Mars over here saying, this is the power of immortality. Okay, so we're going to get explanation. I'm assuming that's the regen that he's talking about. And then we got Worker saying, it still sends shivers down my spine. Yeah, because they're probably, these guys are probably God's Knights like way long ago and stuff. So they probably remember this. Nuzjuro saying, he is now beyond in any wild monster. He's been forged into a mighty weapon, says Nuzjuro. And we got Emu over there in the next panel. Okay. Okay, I think maybe the panels are good now. Oda, why didn't you finish these panels? I got Harald over here. Oh no, Emu talking. Consider thyself an immortal knight sworn to Emu. Sworn to Mu. Immortal? I can't believe it. Carve an abyss pentagram in Elbaph. That will mark the bond between us. Okay, that explains why we had an abyss pentagram in Elbaph. Okay, not surprising, but explains why we have that. Okay. So he obviously gets the regen, I think, but is the teleportation is this level? Maybe you don't even get teleportation in the when you're God's Blade, right? Maybe you're just it's just on the path toward that. Maybe it's just really symbolic. Maybe that explains why Harald is so chilling and surging power now. But like, I mean, we didn't see when he got the last tattoo, but didn't seem like it was like anything as crazy as this. So I don't know. Very specific distinctions right here. So okay, you have to set up a mark. Thy dearest wish shall finally be granted, and he's like smiling, and chapter's still not done. But yeah, he's smiling because obviously I think Emu's gonna grant this wish, but obviously it's gonna have a little bit of side effects, little caveats there. But Harald returns from the Holy Land, I think. Huzzah! He's on the ship, and he returns to Elbaph. As soon as this last mission is completed, Elbaph will be recognized as a member nation of the world government. Yeah, I guess the last mission is just placing the Abyss Pentagram. Obviously, he returns to Elbaph to fulfill that. Everyone's saying, thank you, King Harald, raising up his hand, Okay, next panel. Aris Castle, okay, huh? So he's questioning Harald, I think says, huh? Could you repeat that, great Emu? Oh, no. So I'm guessing, okay, so he already set up the Abyss Pentagram, and I guess he called Emu on the Denden Mushi, and he's like, okay, what? And then Emu told him, I'm guessing he told him to do something crazy when he's like, what? Wait, what do you want me to do? Okay, what could have Emu told him to do right now? Could you repeat that, great Emu? I don't know. Okay, well, we'll read. Let's see what Emu said. Mobilize the entire nation and form a grand army of warriors. Okay, so Emu's like, okay, now that you've set up the Abyss Pentagram, I just need you to freaking get everyone and assemble them. Which, this goes against what he was saying, because Harald was about the school. He was about, going away from the warrior culture. That's what we saw earlier in the chapter. But here, Emu's like, because Emu's true goal all along was to enslave the giants as warriors, right? So now he's like, okay, do this. And Harald's like, what? So like now, like he's been working toward getting Elbaph to the world government, but now that he's actually here, Emu's telling him to do things that completely go against his ideology and everything. So, okay, so Harald's very much. I love Harald's expression right here. He's like, what? Very much stone-faced and confused. I think next panel. The giant warrior fleet will stand alongside the Marines and serve the world as... Wait, no, hold on, says Harald. Everything I've done was to free Elbaph from violence. Of course, if anyone still wishes to fight, I'll gladly encourage them to enlist in the Marines, but who is King Harald talking to there? So some giant guards outside. Obviously, hearing what's going on inside. Okay, so Harald's like, no, right? So he, obviously, there's some nuance here. He says, if anyone wants to fight, they can join the Marines, but, like, that's not every giant. Every giant doesn't want to enlist in Marines, so that, some giants want to join the Marines, sure, right? But I'm not going to install an army specific to Elbaph, and, I'm not going to do that, right? Okay, let's see what Emu says. Next panel. What the fuck? Thou vow to atone for Elbaph's history, even at the cost of becoming a slave. So Emu, this panel's crazy. We got Emu's eyes in the background, kind of in the, oh my god, this is crazy. I really like this panel. Yeah, obviously he's repeating his words, and Harald's gonna be like, shit, why did I say that? He's like, why the fuck did I say that? Next panel. I meant to carry that burden alone, says Harald. The burden of such history is too great for thee to bear alone. Now, hold thy tongue, says Emu. Thou cannot obey, Mu. Thou cannot disobey. Thou cannot disobey, Mu. And Harald reacts. So Harald's like, shit, what did I do? Okay, so, yeah, Harald, when he had it in mind, he's like, I'm going to be my slave on myself, right? I'm going to be a slave by myself. But now Emu's like, no, everyone needs to become a warrior, right? Everyone needs to become a warrior on Elbaph. And Harald's like, no. So, okay, next panel. Those who enter into a deep sea covenant may gain immortality and power. What? But it comes at the cost of total obedience. Thou will carry out Mu's orders regardless of thine own will. Okay, so something's appearing on the bottom. What is happening? What? Or no, on his arm? This isn't good. I'm losing control. Elbaph. They never meant for it to become part of the fold. They never meant for it to become part of the fold. Curse that emu. He's like feeling his arm. Okay, this is something new. So obviously the God's Knights get a mark, but can emu obviously this isn't like, I don't think this is a thing that happens, consistently all the time, but I'm guessing emu has an ability to literally start manually controlling them if he wants to, using the mark, right? Okay, so he's like holding at his arm, his left arm. Okay, next panel. Guards! The plan was always to enslave the warriors of Elbaph. Yes, Harald. Yes, that was the plan all along. They just wanted you to be slaves, warrior slaves too. So, yes, he finally, bro sees the light. Now he just gotta see what he does. What he does to prevent that. So, guards and, shit's happening in the castle. Kind of got an outward shot right here. Next panel. What is it, your majesty? Is someone, and they open... Wait, this is 14 years ago. Well, this is what happened. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think we're 14 years ago. I mean, we already are 14. I just didn't think what's happening right now was the incident. I think that's what it is, right? Because he's calling guards, and the guards are here. I'm like, when I was reading that, I'm like, okay, there was also guards 14 years. This is the incident. Oh, shit, we're just getting it now. Okay, is he going to get Domi Reversi then? Does that mean, okay, if he does get Domi Reversi, does that mean Emu can, manually Domi Reversi the God's Knights? Far away? I don't know. Okay, so he's calling the guards. I think he's asking the guards to literally kill him. The plan is always to enslave the warriors of Elbaph. What is it, your majesty? Is someone? They open the door. They're getting in. Chain me to this pillar, says Harald. Huh? Hurry, summon Elder Jarl and my sons. So he calls him over here. Where's Hyrudin? Because we know Hyrudin didn't pull up. Jarl pulled up. Loki pulled up. Okay, so they're saying chain him to this pillar. Okay. Next panel. But sire, I believe Hyrudin is still out at sea. Yup, he's still out at sea. What is he doing? I mean, Ida's already dead, right? So he's not looking for a doctor. So I'm guessing he's just exploring or something. I don't know. Yeah. But sire, I believe Hyrudin is still out at sea. And Loki, Lord Loki, Lord Loki, is still in prison after what happened. Okay, so yeah, he's imprisoned because of the incident at the village, right, and everything. So okay, next panel. I can't resist for long. So he's like grabbing it. He's like in the background struggling, and all these guards are just casually standing. What exactly is this concerning, your majesty? None of that matters now. Release him. Okay, so we'll release him just like how he was released in the present day. Next panel. Jail, Realm of the Dead. Okay, so we're in the jail. Again, I'm assuming it's the same place the Strats were in earlier in the arc. You're free to go, Loki. Head to Horus Castle at once. The king requires your presence. And Loki's kind of just sitting down. He's kind of confused. I wonder how long they were planning to hold him in there. Next panel, Jarl's house. Something urgent. What's going on? And so we return to where this tale began, says the narrator. So even the narrator's like, okay, guys, sorry for... cutting away 109 years ago, and we're going to go back to how the story started. The day of the castle massacre, when Elbaph's most beloved king, Harald the Benevolent, lost his life. History changes. We get a shot of the portrait that we know that we've seen in Horus Castle, rather. Yeah, we just get another look at the portrait. One Piece chapter 1168, and break next week. I actually didn't know there was a break next week. I was waiting for, a tweet to show up on my timeline, but I guess it never showed up, so I didn't actually know. But yeah, it was confirmed. So break next week, which makes sense. 3 chapters in a row and a break makes sense. So, but Oda's been cooking. Take that break, Oda. You clearly need it because this chapter, there's some unfinished artwork in this chapter. So yeah, hopefully next chapter doesn't have, unfinished artwork. But yeah, 1168, and good chapter. I'm very much Elbaph focused, very much leading up to that incident like I predicted. I just didn't think we were actually going to get... obviously, we still haven't gotten the incident, but literally, direct build-up to that incident. Interesting. But yeah, great stuff this chapter. This great Ida stuff at the beginning with, very emotional, and the grave, good panels, like very good, very good. No, I love this stuff is great. And then we have obviously the latter half of the chapter is just Harald, Emu, and Shanks is missing. So clearly he just left. He just fucking left. Right? He didn't even say goodbye. No, he just fucking left. Okay, I wonder what his last mission was. Maybe that's why he left. He's like, okay, I'm going to keep on doing this until they ask me to do something crazy. And I'm not going to do that. But I don't think Shanks was probably listening to them in the request they had, like, previously. I don't know. But he gets this, he gets his mark, and Emu stuff. Yeah, this is kind of how I imagined it, but I didn't think, like, it was going to happen right here, right now. But, yeah, here we are, Loki, Jarl. We're going to find out how he got that freaking sword in his head. The devil fruit. Like, oh, my God. Next chapter is going to be crazy. So, yeah, very excited for next chapter. I still don't think the arc is over, because there's still the fact that Loki escaped, went out to sea for 8 years, possibly got his bounty there, likely, and then Shanks captured him. The Lola stuff had to have happened in that 8-year time span, so there's still stuff going on. So I'm hoping that Oda doesn't, we see the incident and then boom, we come back to present day, because we still got to learn about what happened there. So we'll see. Yeah, there's some translator notes. Oh, wait, I just realized. Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't pick this up. So earlier in the arc, right, and we have 2 examples of this, but I don't know if it was an egghead or I guess maybe earlier in this arc where on the ships of the giants, Oda spelled out Elbaph with a PH, right? And that confirmed that is how he intends it to be spelled. And he obviously, I think, further reaffirmed that by spelling Elbaph with a PH in chapter 1130 when Loki was revealed and we got that big shot of the island, double page spread, he spelled that with a PH there, clear as day. So that confirmed that's how he wants us to spell. Here, my guy Oda, I didn't even notice that. He has Elbaph on the ship that Harald's returning from. Like, he's on the ship. He says Elbaph with an F. What the heck? Oda's had Oda's not great, with English, right? He incorporates a lot of English stuff, but he does change stuff quite a while. I think of the example of Shiryu, right? Because I'm pretty sure Oda, like, romanized his name, like, back maybe in Impel Down to Marineford as Shiliu. Like, Shiliu. Like, it was like, what was it? It was like Shiliew. It was weird. And that's how he romanized it. But then, like, later in the series, I think maybe Reese, like in Wano or something, like when we got the Moria stuff, he re-romanized his name as Shiryu. As Shiryu. That's how he wants you to spell it. Like, he changed it because obviously that was a weird-ass romanization. Because I don't think Oda exactly knew how he wanted the English people to say it, but he fixed it. Here, he's changing it to Elbaph. Maybe? Again? I mean, because people were thinking, because Elbaph was Fable backwards, but then Oda had the PH, so it's like, okay, it's not anything to do with that. Maybe it has to deal with, like, Baphomet, like, a demon stuff. I don't know, but now he's changing it back to F? I don't even know, dude. What is happening? Okay, let's see what the translator note says. The Romanized spelling Elbaph appeared in the artwork of this chapter. This appearance may lend credence to the notion that the prior graphic Elbaph, the one PH at chapter 1130, may have been an editorial choice, but like we saw Oda draw it on the ships. No, it was definitely on the other ships. Yeah, we see a picture, a panel of it right here. Since both variations have thus far appeared in the art, the authorial intent remains unclear. For now, pending further clarification, we are going to stick with the familiar spelling Elbaph with an F, as it feels more intuitive and is the more recently given romanization. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting. So, yeah, we don't know. So, yeah, maybe, but Oda drew it on the ship. So, even if the one in 1130 was wrong, like the one they have right here, he still drew it on the ship. So, I think Oda's still changing it himself. Yeah, weird. I mean, we'll find out, right? We'll find out at some point. Yeah, just very, very weird. I mean, this is a whole other, this doesn't really matter. I mean, it kind of does, but not really, but yeah. So, good chapter. Very excited for next chapter. We'll see each other, like, well, in 2 weeks, but yeah. Anything else? No? Yeah, that's about it. See you.